Hey everyone, Catherine here. Thank you for joining me at my home today. As you can see behind me, I have my mat rolled out, ready for us to do some yoga today. And make sure that if you have any physical limitations, that you please talk to your doctor before you practice with us. So let's begin. I'm going to move my camera so that you can see my whole mat and higher when I go to standing. So let's go ahead and begin laying on our back. And if you have any back discomfort as you lay down, make sure you bend your knees, allowing your knees to collapse into each other. And you can rest your arms by your sides, or you can place your hands on your belly. Make sure that there's space between the low back and your mat, and go ahead and shrug the shoulders to the ears. Let the shoulders relax down. And let's close our eyes and just do a brief centering today. So just begin to observe the breath as it moves in and out of your body without changing or altering. Just simply observe. Observing the rise and fall of your belly, the expanding and contracting of your chest, your rib cage. Begin to notice any tension within your body, and if you're having or holding any tension, think of relaxing that tension, just letting it go. And as you relax, feeling a deeper connection of the back body on the mat beneath you. And if you're feeling less resistance in your low back, you can go ahead and straighten your legs on the mat if you'd like, or keep them bent. And then moving your awareness to your mind and checking in with your mind, observing how your mind is feeling today. Is it busy? Is it calm? Observing the quality of your thoughts without getting pulled in emotionally. So you're just being the observer to everything, body and mind. As your next breath moves in, let's begin to expand and elongate the breath. So inhaling nice, slow, long, and deep. Belly expands, and exhaling, the belly descends back towards your spine. Inhaling again, nice, slow, long, and deep. Belly expands and rises. And exhaling, belly descends back towards your spine. Again, inhale. And exhale. And as your next breath moves in, let's slowly bring the arms up overhead and stretch your body nice and long. Inhaling into the stretch. And then exhaling, bringing the arms back alongside, letting the shoulders relax. And from here, go ahead and bring the knees one at a time up to the chest, clasping your hands under the knees. I'm just staying here for a moment, and you can hold this steady, or if you want to begin to move and rock side to side, you can do that as well. And knees can be open or together. Just releasing the low back, hips, and pelvis. If you want, you can move your feet in circles or up and down, or or just hold. You don't have to move them if you don't want to. Just getting a nice release in the low back. Especially nice to do after you wake up in the morning. And then we'll go ahead and exhale, plant the feet down. Again, adjust the back body so you're feeling space between the low back and the mat. Shrug the shoulders, let the shoulders relax. And bring your arms out to a T a bit lower than the shoulders. Taking a breath in here and exhale, begin to windshield wiper your legs side to side. Inhaling up, exhaling, knees drop over. Releasing the low back, hips and pelvis. If the head wants to move in the opposite direction of the knees, you can just let it go. Just let it move that way. And again, this is a nice movement to do when you first wake up in the morning. To release any stiffness in that lower body. And then we'll go ahead and bring the knees back up to center. Bring the arms alongside of the body. Walk your feet a little closer and intuitively find your ankles underneath your knees. Take your right ankle, place it on top of your left knee. Go ahead and flex the right foot and then gently press the right knee away from the body, beginning to feel the outer right hip. So if you hold tension in your hips, you're going to feel this definitely. If you're not feeling much going on here and you want to intensify it a bit, bring your left foot up off of the mat, reach and grab the thigh of your left leg. And so it's just a steady hold here. Both feet are flexed, toes are pointing up. Feeling that right outer hip for sure now. Exhale, bring both feet back down, and then we'll switch sides. Left ankle on top of our right knee. Flexing the left foot, gently press the left knee away from the body. And if you're feeling lots of resistance in that outer left hip, stay here. If you're not, then you can bring that right foot up now. Clasping your hands underneath the right thigh. Feet are flexed, toes are pointing up again. Feeling that left outer hip. Exhale, bring your feet back down again. Intuitively find those ankles underneath the knees, balancing the back body, arms alongside of the body. From here, we'll inhale and imagine as though there's a cold ice cube underneath your low back. You're going to slowly inhale and arch away from that freezing cold ice cube. And then exhale, the ice cube disappears. So plant the low back spine into the mat as you tilt the pelvis towards the head. So you're basically doing pelvic tilts on your back. And again, the cold ice cube reappears, arching away as we inhale. Cold ice cube disappears, pressing the low back into the mat, tilting the pelvis towards your head. Inhaling, arching. Exhaling and tucking. This is a good release for the low back. And it's not too intense either because you're laying on your back. So this would be a good alternative to do maybe for cat dog when we're on hands and knees and we're inhaling, lifting the sit bone, spine and head, and exhaling, tucking. If you have disc issues, because this kind of limits the movement a little bit. Good, then we'll come back to neutral and take a breath in here. Exhale and roll over onto your side. It doesn't matter which side, as long as you can see me or you need to see me. If you don't need to see me, you can turn the opposite direction of your monitor. Staying here for a few breaths. Rebalancing the blood pressure. then we'll go ahead and engage the abdominals, pulling the abdominals slightly in towards the spine and up into the rib cage to bring yourself upright. And let's come to hands and knees. Make sure that your wrists are slightly forward of your shoulders, knees under the hips. This can also be done on your forearms. And I would recommend elevating the forearms with yoga bricks, or if you have something to, like a big thick book or something, to lift the forearms up a bit so you're not all the way down on the mat like this. It's a little awkward. So on our next inhalation, we'll lift the sit bone, spine, and head. And then exhale, tuck your tail under. Press into the hands and sit back towards the heels, or if you can get all the way on the heels, go ahead and do that. Nice stretch in the low back and the quadricep muscle above the knees, the tops of the shoulders. Inhale, lift up, sit bone, spine, and head. And lessen this movement if we have disc issues. Exhale, tuck your tail around the spine, letting the head go. Pressing back again, pausing for a moment, let the tailbone drop. Inhale, lift. We'll do it one more time. Sit bone, spine, and head. Exhale and tuck. And pressing back, sitting back. Inhale and come up. And this time we'll extend the right leg straight back behind us. And you can keep that right foot on the mat or lift the right leg up and press through the back heel. Shift your weight into your right hand, reach the left arm forward. So remember, foot can be planted down or lifting up, reach and stretch. Of course, it's a little more challenging when you're lifting that right leg up, working on balance, lifting out of the right shoulder. Breath is moving in and out. And then we'll do one little crunch if you'd like, or stay here. It's up to you. So on your exhalation, we'll take the right knee into the chest, take your left elbow to your right knee and round the spine, and a slight contraction of the belly towards the spine here. And then inhale, reach and stretch. So you're kind of contracting the abdominals and then stretching them out. And then exhale, bring your left and right knee down onto the mat. Take a pause. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Extend the left leg back, toes can rest. Or lift the left leg up and press through the back heel. Shift your weight into your left hand and reach the right arm forward. Thumb is pointing up, reach and stretch here. In opposite direction, gaze is forward on the floor. And then if you want, do the little crunch. Take the right elbow into the left knee, rounding the spine, pausing here for a moment. And then reach and stretch. Then we'll exhale and bring your right hand and left knee back down. Pause for a moment. And then from here, we'll walk the hands forward a lot. Keep the sit bones lifting and just lower the chest towards the mat, stopping when you feel resistance begin in the shoulders. So we want to avoid overworking the joints in the shoulders. And then you can kind of press into the fingers a little bit here too. A few breaths here, waking up the shoulders. And then we'll inhale, lift through the shoulders and come back up to hands and knees. From here, we'll take the right hand and sweep it up towards the ceiling. If you want, you can keep your right hand on the low back. Gaze is on the mat, or you can turn your head to the right, so right arm is lifting. Exhale, right hand comes down. And now we'll do the left hand, so sweeping the left arm up. Again, gaze is on the mat, or turn your head to the left. Left hand can also come onto the back if this is too intense, lifting the left arm up. And then exhale, left hand comes back down. Taking an inhalation here. Exhale, tuck your tail, round the spine, letting the head go. Taking another inhalation and exhale, curl the toes under, lifting the hips into down dog. Now, if you're blessed with tight hamstrings like me, step your feet a bit wider apart and begin to elongate the side rib cage. Gaze is at your knees. For those who want to move a little, go ahead and alternate heels coming down, that's fine. Or just hold steady. And it's like you're pressing the mat away from you, elongating the side rib cage. Contracting the abdominals slightly towards the spine. If you're feeling pulling in your low back and in your seat area, step your feet wider apart. If you have lots of tension in the hamstrings, step your feet wider apart. Good. And then walk your feet closer if you've stepped them apart. And then from here, we're going to shift our weight forward into our hands to plank. Now, some of you might want to come down to half plank. That's fine. Knees drop down behind the sit bones here, lifting out of your shoulders. Gaze is forward on the floor. You can tuck your pelvis or move into a neutral pelvis, which is just the natural curve of the spine here. Lifting out of the shoulders, looking forward. Or knees are lifting up, pressing the heels back behind you. Breath is moving in and out. And then we'll come back to down dog. So lifting the hips, so if your knees are down, you're just going to lift up and back. So everybody's back to down dog. Adjust the feet as needed. Breathing. Good. And then walk the feet again closer together. Looking forward at your hands. Take a breath in here. Exhale, walk forward to the top of your mat. Feet are hip width apart underneath you. Second toes are pointing forward. And hands on either side of your feet. Now, if you have more flexibility, the legs are probably straight in this position. If you don't, then bring the hands onto the legs. Excuse me. Bring your hands onto the legs till the legs get straight. And then begin to hover the rib cage over the floor. If you have back issues, come to standing, please. And just do a tiny micro bend forward. I'm going to move my camera here because I'm my cameraman. All right. And then from here, we'll sink into the heels. Float the sit bones back behind you. Contract the abdominal muscles in. Hands on the tops of our thighs as we elevate the upper body. So moving into chair pose. And then reach the arms back. So you're sinking into your heels. Toes can lift. And make sure the knees are not traveling past the toes. Hands at our heart or reach the arms up. It's up to you. And then bring the hands back to the legs and either come to standing, micro bending forward, or straighten the legs and just ease yourself back to where you were. Or maybe the legs are a little less tense, so maybe you're coming down further. And then back to chair. So bending the knees, hands on the tops of our thighs, sinking into the heels, floating the sit bones back, lifting the upper body, reaching the arms back, or hands to our heart, or reaching up. If shoulders are tight, bend your elbows and draw the fingertips forward. Bring the hands on the tops of your thighs, straighten the legs, everybody come up to standing. Squeeze the glutes. Pull the abdominals in slightly, bring the arms by your sides. Stack the ribcage over your pelvis. Strong legs as well, so we're contracting those muscles in the legs too. Good, now bring the hands onto your hips. I'm going to face this way now. Bring your hands onto the hips and shift your weight into your left foot. And then bend your right knee. And you're just kind of skimming the right toes. You can also use a wall, so placing your left hand on the wall or on a chair too if you'd like. And then pivot that right heel up against your left ankle. Hands on our hips or hands at our heart, or reach the arms up. If you want to take this deeper, hands on our hips, slide the right foot up to the inner calf or inner thigh. So pressing your foot into your leg, leg into foot, hands at our hips, at our heart, or reach the arms up. So really feeling the standing leg. And if you want to challenge even more, you can close your eyes or look up. So feeling grounded and lifted at the same time. And you can express the arms even like this if you want to, if your shoulders are tight and you can't lift them up. And then we'll exhale, bring the hands onto the hips, step down. Now, if I were to step out of the pose, I would just slowly come back into it again. So really finding the feet. This helps with balance and concentration. And then now we'll shift our weight into our right foot. There's a slight contraction of the belly button towards the spine, and skim the left toes. You can stay here if you want, or pivot the left heel up against your right ankle. Or slide the foot up to the calf, never on the inside of the knee though. And then if you want, take the left foot to the inner thigh, pressing the foot into your thigh, thigh into foot, like the legs become one, like a trunk of a tree, strong. Contracting the abdominals, hands at our heart, or reach the arms up. Or look up or close your eyes if you want to challenge yourself more. I'm going to keep my eyes open today. Keep holding, and then we'll exhale. Bring the hands to our hips, step down. Good, now step your feet apart. And then turn your left foot out and the right foot slightly in. So you're lining the left heel up with the arch of the back right foot. Make sure that you see that imaginary line. If the feet are out of placement, then it can create less stability in the pose. Therefore, you will kind of wobble and it just won't feel balanced. So we want to try to feel balanced in our poses. For what the yogis say, sthira sukham asanam, comfort in the pose. And then from here, we'll jut the right hip into our right hand as we begin to tip out over our left straight leg. And you're just going to come down, 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 down until you can't come down anymore. And you can stay here. Some of you might want to just stay here, and that's fine. For those who want to take it deeper, take the left hand to the inside of your left leg. Right arm up towards the ceiling. Stack your right shoulder over the left. And then begin to float the sit bones back. And this helps to create elongation in the left side body here. Okay. Gaze is like in front, like I'm looking at you right now, or down at the mat. Never up towards the ceiling, because then you're going to start pinching the vein in your neck, nerves in your neck, and cutting off blood flow. It's actually not good to look up. So we're going to look to the right or look down at the mat. And then bend your left knee and come up. We'll do a little reverse warrior here. So taking the right hand on the back of your right leg, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling, feeling a stretch in your left side rib cage. Just keep the hand on the back of the leg. Avoid sliding down too deep, going towards the ankle. Just keep it on the hamstring here. And here we can look straight ahead or up. So it's up to you where you want to take this. And if your left shoulder, if you have it injured or just is really tight, you can also keep your left hand onto your hip as well, okay? We want to be mindful of ourselves. Every day is different with our body. And then straighten the left leg, bring the hands back to the hips, doing the same thing on the right. So left foot turns in, right foot turns out. Hands on our hips, jutting the left hip into your left hand and begin to tip out over the right leg. So being 51, my body has started doing some weird stuff. This is my tight side. And so this is as far as I'm going to make it here. And I am not going to force myself to go further than that because I don't want to injure myself. And I'll stay here, or right hand to the inside of your right leg, or left arm up. Left hand can stay on the hip too. And then begin to relax and float the sit bones back behind you. Breathe. Remember, gaze is forward or to the left, I should say, or on the mat. So you decide where you want to take this. It's a nice stretch in the hamstring. Some people have said triangle pose also like creates a chiropractic click in the spine to readjust. And then we'll bend the right knee, come up, and now doing our reverse warrior. Left hand on the back of the left leg, reach the right arm up. Feeling the right foot as you reach through the right hand. Remember, right hand can also come onto the hip, looking up or straight ahead. You decide where you want to take this. Step my feet a little wider. And remember, it's okay to adjust once you're in the pose if you're feeling that you need to adjust a bit. So again, feeling a stretch in the right side body. And then we'll inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, hands on our hips. Good. Turn the right foot forward and step our feet together. Let's check the time. And I'll leave you guys at that. So coming back down onto our mat and prepare for relaxation. It's good to do this at the end of your practice. So again, adjusting your back body. Knees can collapse into each other, or legs are straight. You can also roll a bolster under your knees or under the head. We'll do a couple of windshield wiper legs here. Inhaling up, exhaling, dropping over. Just release. And then coming back up and adjusting to where you want. And take as long as you want on your mat. And I am so appreciative of you guys joining me today. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Namaste. Oh, and please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Thanks so much.